Great to see everybody here today. This is a briefing which we're also videotaping because we have a number of people that indicated that unfortunately they will not be able to join us in person, but are very interested in hearing the report back from the 10th anniversary of our Dream Summer program. It's quite extraordinary. It was all the way back in 2011 when we first launched Dream Summer, the first national internship and fellowship program for undocumented immigrant youth leaders. And over these last 10 years, more than 800 people have participated in Dream Summer from all across the country. We have raised more than $4 million that have gone directly into scholarships and fellowships for undocumented immigrant youth. But more importantly, the fellowships have provided an opportunity to what we call a campus to movement pipeline to connect undocumented immigrant youth leaders with labor and social justice organizations on the front lines of creating change. And so literally every week throughout the year, we read about Dream Summer alumni and the extraordinary work that they continue to do to advance the movement for immigrant rights and for social and economic and racial justice throughout this country. And so because we just completed this summer, the 10th anniversary of our Dream Summer program, we thought we would have a briefing highlighting both some of the Dream Summer alumni who are now working with us on a full-time basis at the UCLA Labor Center, as well as some of the participants in this year's Dream Summer program to show that indeed, after 10 years, Dream Summer continues to thrive. We showed the film, the video, Wake Me Up by Aloe Black, because it featured Jereth Andrade, who was a Dream Summer fellow back in 2011. The last caption on the video said that she was struggling to stop her father's deportation. That was a campaign that she won, and she successfully led a national campaign to stop her father's deportation and succeeded. And 10 years later, Jereth Andrade is still an immigrant rights leader who does extraordinary work in the Washington, D.C. area. We have with us today extraordinary group of young leaders that I'm really excited that you can hear from in just a few minutes. But I wanted to lead off with a short video called Life After Dream Summer. And it highlights the stories of three extraordinary Dream Summer alumni, Marco Quiroga, Angelica Hernandez, and Steve Lee. I just spoke to Steve Lee very recently. He literally was the poster child for the campaign for healthcare access for undocumented youth here in the state of California. On my way to work at UCLA, I would pass his billboard prominently featured on Olympic Boulevard. And Steve Lee was dressed in a medical outfit. And the caption of the billboard said, "I wasn't born in California. California was born in me. Healthcare for all." And I think of that because I just wrote a letter of recommendation for Steve Lee, who's applying for nursing school. But that even as an undergraduate studying at UC Davis and working with the Dream Summer program, he was a prominent leader of the fight for healthcare access for undocumented youth, which was actually won here in the state of California. So please join me in seeing this brief video, Life After Dream Summer.
In 2011, the Dream Resource Center created Dream Summer, a national program designed to give undocumented immigrant youth a professional internship experience to further develop their leadership skills and strengthen their connection to social justice movements. I got a dream. One day. We're gonna work it out. One day. Many have described Dream Summer as transformative, healing, and a life-changing experience. For the first time, they felt empowered and liberated.
That's why I stand here and say I'm undocumented and unafraid. My dream is to be, my dream is to be, my dream is to be free.
My name is Angelica Hernandez. I am a field representative for the California State Senate.
To a detention center in South Texas.
My name is Marco Antonio Kroga. I'm the National Field Officer at Immigration and Equality.
My name's Steve, and I'm working at a medical group here in downtown San Francisco.
My family came to the U.S. in 1991. I was 2.
I was born in Lima, Peru, and I came to the United States when I was 10 years old.
Since the age of 3, I've been undocumented. I grew up in Orlando, Florida.
Being undocumented, we face a lot of challenges.
College was really difficult because there really wasn't any resources for us at that point.
What really saved me was that one day I was on Facebook and I saw this little advertisement on my newsfeed. It was for Dream Summer. I told my sister, I told my mom. They said that they think it's a scam. They think it's ICE trying to get your information. And I was like, well, I'm at the end of my rope.
And I applied to Dream Summer, and I luckily was selected in 2013. And I think that's where my journey really took off.
I got placed in Orlando, Florida, and my future just shot forward from there.
Through my internship at APIP, I was able to find that support and mentorship that I needed to help me with my career goal.
Dream Summer prepared me alongside Hope. They allowed me the opportunity to go ahead and work on my own research project.
Another important aspect of Dream Summer was that I was able to meet other undocumented students from around the nation.
They empowered me to feel free, to feel liberated, and to feel powerful.
We all came from different backgrounds, we all had different career goals, and that this experience connected all of us together.
I got connected to the movement through Dream Summer, and that led me to meeting the executive director at Immigration Equality.
Right after Dream Summer, I had received the opportunity to apply for a fellowship.
I got the job here at Immigration Equality, and so I moved to Washington, D.C. to lobby for immigration reform.
I am working at a medical group to provide the best quality care for patients and to reduce the cost of healthcare in the United States.
And after DC, I got the opportunity to move to New York to work closely with LGBT asylum seekers and LGBT individuals who we win relief from immigration detention centers throughout the country.
I actually ended up getting the fellowship out of all of the people who applied. I was placed in elected official's office for a period of 3 months. However, I didn't finish my 3 months because the senator really liked me the first day that we met, and he actually offered me a job. Had I not had that experience that I had through Dream Summer and through my fellowship, I wouldn't have my current position now.
Dream Summer has served as a launching pad for immigrant youth to develop their leadership, professional careers, and engagement in social justice. Since 2011, Dream Summer has transformed the lives of more than 400 immigrant youth and allies from across the nation.
That was a short documentary by Marcos Nieves, who does great video work and is a filmmaker. I wanted to next introduce Eric Braxton from the Funder Collaborative on Youth Organizing. Back in 2010, when Dream Summer was just an idea, we made a presentation before the board of the Funder Collaborative on Youth Organizing, and I was so thrilled that a number of the funders in the room responded favorably and became some of the first supporters and enabled us to launch Dream Summer back in 2011. So I'm very pleased to welcome and to have join us today to say a few words, Eric Braxton.
Thanks, Ken. Thanks so much for having me here. It's really great to see and to get to witness all of the amazing work that Dream Summer has been doing. Again, I'm the co-executive director of the Funders Collaborative on Youth Organizing, and we're a national collaborative of funders and youth organizers who are dedicated to supporting young people on the forefront of social justice movements. We're also excited to be celebrating our 20th anniversary as you celebrate your 10th. And I do remember, that meeting back in 2010. We had a board meeting in LA, and we had been so inspired by the powerful organizing by undocumented immigrant young people. And we're excited to invite a group of them to come and present about their work, and talk about the need for leadership development opportunities and fellowships and all of that. And remember that the funders in the room just being blown away by the power and the leadership of those young people. And that some of those folks were fortunate to be able to step in and help support the launch of Dream Summer. And that, we at FCYO in those early years hosted some Dream Summer interns, and they both did amazing work at FCYO, and have also gone on to play really critical movement leadership roles. One of them helped found an immigrant rights organization in Connecticut. Another has been a key staffer on progressive political campaigns. So for a long time at FCYO, we've talked about the need for a social justice leadership pipeline that supports young people of color to take on key movement leadership roles. Right now, there are just way too many gaps in our leadership pipeline. There's too many young people that get involved in organizing and get lost along the way. But I really think that Dream Summer has been one of the best examples of how that leadership pipeline should work, right? The success in supporting young, undocumented young people to connect with movement and policy organizations and then move on to leadership roles has really been nothing short of incredible. So I'll just close by saying, I think we're in such a critical moment on immigrant rights, climate justice, racial justice, and so much more. And there's so much energy and organizing among young people. And if we are going to build the movement that we need strong intergenerational movement infrastructure, right? That connects youth and adult organizations and develops this next generation of leaders. And Dream Summer is such a powerful example of that. And I hope folks will step up and continue to support it for another amazing 10 years. So thanks so much for having me and looking forward to the conversation.
Thank you so much, Eric, and happy 20th anniversary to the Funders Collaborative on Youth Organizing. And it's great that we can celebrate our 10th and your 20th in the same year. Dream Summer over the last 10 years has been decisive in moving the needle. Back in 2011, it was Dream Summer Fellows that were instrumental in securing the victory of the California Dream Act that opened the doors to new opportunities for thousands and thousands of undocumented immigrant youth to attend higher education in community colleges, CSUs, and UCs. In 2012, it was Dream Summer alumni and fellows that were really critical in the fight for DACA, and the very first national strategy meeting to plan out the Right to Dream campaign, which led to the enactment of DACA, was held at the close of Dream Summer 2011 and facilitated by Nady Dominguez. And as I indicated, the campaign that Steve Lee was involved in was also led by Dream Summer alumni and fellows around healthcare access for undocumented youth. So in this 10 years, we have seen significant victories that have been won. And we think it is critical now, when the national immigration debate is now moving forward, that the voices and the power of immigrant youth be mobilized once again. I'm going to turn the program now over to Anthony Nong. Anthony Nong was a Dream Summer fellow back in 2012. And through that experience, he emerged as one of the national leaders within the API undocumented youth community. And we are so thrilled to have him now as the director of our Dream Resource Center here at the UCLA Labor Center. So welcome, Anthony Nong.
Thanks, Ken. Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today as we commemorate the 10th year anniversary of Dream Summer. My name is Anthony Nong. I have the honor and privilege of serving as the Dream Resource Center Director at the UCLA Labor Center. And today you'll have the opportunity to hear from our staff and our alumni of our National Dream Summer Fellowship Program, which continues to be the only leadership and professional development opportunity program led for and by undocumented immigrant youth. My participation in Dream Summer 2012 impacted my life personally and professionally. I was freshly out of college, dealing with the ordeals of being undocumented. This was before DACA became reality. This was before the California Dream Act was implemented. I remember graduating from college at UC Irvine, feeling lost, feeling uncertain about my future, knowing how hard I worked against all odds to graduate from college, but I couldn't work. I didn't have a work permit or had access to professional development opportunities while I was at college because of my status. Dream Summer was the game changer for me. It allowed me to gain professional skills, knowledge, and a network of folks that helped propel my career in the social justice and nonprofit sector. I was a Dream Summer Fellow at Asian Americans Advancing Justice LA for about 8, and I ended up staying there for about 8 years, where I led their immigrant rights advocacy and organizing work. And really, for me, Dream Summer allowed me to understand the agency that I had and I have as an undocumented Asian person in this country, and to use that agency to help build a more just and equitable society. Dream Summer also allowed me to have a community of folks who cheered me on as we navigated this unjust immigration system, and also cheered me on as I hit personal and professional milestones over the decades. I've also had the opportunity to supervise and mentor Dream Summer Fellows over the decade, and many of them became close friends. Some became employees who I hired as organizers, as interns, and really reflecting in this decade-long career, I can personally tell you that Dream Summer is a long-term investment with long-term impact for our communities. Without my participation in Dream Summer, I wouldn't have been able to develop my advocacy and organizing skills, nor have the career that I have today. Dream Summer acts as a bridge for so many people to pursue their passion for social change. It's exciting to know that I am part of a network of over 800 alumni, some who are leading nonprofit organizations, some who are working in philanthropy and politics, others continue their grassroots involvement. I want to honor the hard work and dedication of immigrant youth, advocates, and organizers who passionately dedicated their time and effort to create meaningful change in our community, whether that be by building the power of immigrant communities, strengthening the infrastructure of our movements, creating system change through policy work. Many of those working day in and day out to create these changes are Dream Summer alumni, like Lorela Praeli, co-president of Community Change, Ju Hong, board chair of NACASAC, Patrice Lawrence, co-director of the Undocumented Black Network, Javier Hernandez, executive director of Inland Coalition for Immigrant Justice, Marco Quiroga, director of the Contigo Fund, Hugo Romero, political coordinator of the LA County Labor Federation, Mayo Castro, communications specialist at the UFW Foundation, Shirley Achieng, communications fellow at Asian Bridge Alliance, and so many more. As you can tell, we have a very powerful program that changed the lives of hundreds of people. One of the reasons I came back to the Labor Center taking the role of the DRC director is I fully understand what a catalyst Dream Summer can be for so many folks. I invite you to continue your support for Dream Summer, whether as a funder, host institution, ambassador, or whatever ways you can support. We know in this past decade, Dream Summer truly has been a school to movement pipeline, a pipeline that will continue to create the next generation of leaders that are tackling the most pressing social justice issues faced by our time. Now I'd like to call on our next speaker, my colleague, Salinas Martell. Salinas?
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much, Anthony, for not only your narrative, but also the introduction. Hello, everyone. My name is Cuauhtemoc Salinas Martell. I know that's a lot of name, but I am happy to embrace my beautiful name, which is originally comes from an Aztec king, but I go by Salinas. My pronouns are he, him, and they. And I am just really excited to be a speaker this time around. I also share the same space with Anthony. I was a Dream Summer intern in 2012. So I always found myself longing for a family, to be quite frank with you. When I was younger, I didn't have a childhood. I was a parent to my parent. And I think the Dream Summer Internship Program really gave me not only that foundation, that structure that I was missing at home, but it gave me a family and it gave me a voice. And with that voice, I was able to not only graduate from UC Berkeley and be the first person in my entire family to do so, but I also went on to get my master's at the #1 MSW program in the nation, which is the University of Michigan. And with that joy and that thrive and that love that I got from Dream Summer, I was able to really translate and give back to the people that gave back to me. And essentially, that is something that would always be a lasting memory in my mind of just being the voice of reason and being the voice of so many undocumented folks who feel lost and who feel neglected. And I was one of those. I was one of those that didn't really knew that I existed until, again, Dream Summer really gave me that that fuel, that necessary fuel to be the first. I always said that I might be the first, but I will never be the last. And I would encourage and empower people like me or unlike me to really pursue higher education. And a lot of my colleagues don't know this, but I am actually on my way to pursue my doctoral studies at LMU. So I'll be the first person in my entire family to be named doctor as well. So I'm just really excited. I'm very grateful that Dream Summer Internship Program really gave me that, that joy in my life. And if I didn't make you smile and if I didn't make you feel empowered, then I didn't do my job, right? And I just really want to thank this opportunity to the Dream Resource Center to give me the space to share my narrative. And I'm excited to hear the other speakers and to be a part of this process. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much, Salinas. Now I'll turn the mic to my next colleague, Jessica Olivares. Jessica?
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for being here today. And thank you so much, Salinas, for sharing a bit about yourself. My name is Jessica, she, her pronouns, and I'm currently the new project coordinator for the DRC. I am also a Dream Summer alum 2019, so a little recent. And I applied for Dream Summer when I was in a very low point in my life in terms of being undocumented and not feeling supported in my institution. It was a really small institution, and there wasn't really this community that had been fostered for undocumented folks there. And I was feeling a bit lost. I was feeling just angry at being undocumented, angry at the world, and angry at not having that support that I needed. And I ended up applying to Dream Summer because I was really seeking that community and seeking folks who felt as angry as I did. And I was able to find a community. I was able to connect with folks who shared the same vision of liberation for 11 undocumented folks, 11 million undocumented folks that live here in the US. And it was a very transformative experience and gave me a lot of tools to redirect that anger towards, creating change. And I loved it so much that I decided to apply again the following year. So I also was part of the internship in 2020, which was a bit different. The pandemic was, we were still in the middle of a pandemic, and it became all virtual, but the same sense of community that I had felt in 2019, I was still able to feel it in 2020. So it continued being a huge part of my life. And continue to give me those tools that I needed, both professionally and as well as that community that I was seeking. And I decided to come back again and apply in 2021, but now as a staff member. So thankfully, I was able to, I received this position through the experience of being a Dream Summer alum and allowing me to foster the same community and create new visions for 2022 for fellows that are going to be applying, and foster that same community for folks that Dream Summer did for me. So it has been a transformative experience. It has allowed me to, truly understand what being undocumented during this time means and how we can continue to change the lives of other undocumented youth, especially right now with, we all know the whole situation with DACA. And I think it's so important to continue fostering the next generation of undocumented youth that don't qualify, and continue to fight for the liberation that we deserve as undocumented folks.
Thank you so much, Jessica. Really appreciate you sharing your story and why you decided to join our team, and super excited to be working with you. Now I would like to hand off the mic to my next colleague, Gabby Gale de Leon. Gabby?
Hi, good morning, everyone. I'm really happy to be here, and always an honor to hear stories of other undocumented folks. My name is Gabby, pronouns she, they, and I recently joined the DRC team as one of the project coordinators, and I'm also an alum from the Dream Summer Fellowship Program from the 2017 cohort. I was placed on SEIU 2015, and during my time at Dream Summer, I got to work alongside organizers and policy coordinators and communications director, and really the first time seeing other women, femmes, and queer people of color. So I saw myself, I saw that representation that I hadn't seen while growing up. Beyond gaining professional experience, I made really unforgettable connections that I still have today. I felt empowered by the people I was surrounded by, and I learned a lot about myself and the impact and power of communities hold in creating change. It was also the first time meeting so many other undocumented youth doing so many different things, and being leaders, figuring out how to navigate being in this country and how I was really, and seeing all the amazing work fellows in my cohort and in Dream Summer overall did really motivated me to continue pursuing my own goals. I decided to return to DRC because there is still so much to do to ensure immigrant communities are safe in this country and continue to thrive. I specifically believe that this cannot happen without supporting our immigrant youth and investing in them and centering their stories and voices in this movement. And so I'm really excited to be part of the team and continue the work on Dream Summer.
Thanks so much, Gabby. Appreciate you sharing your story, and also welcome to the team. Super excited to be working with you. Now I'd like to turn the mic to our two recent fellows that really impressed me in this last year of working with them. I had the honor to work with Kareli Amaya-Rios and Abraham Cruz this past year to develop a really special group of UC students. So I'm going to turn the mic to Kareli and Abraham.
Yeah, hey everyone. My name is Corelli, she, her, hers pronoun, and I am a senior at UCLA now. Woo-hoo. So my Dream Summer Fellowship experience was really like life-changing, like that video like stated at that beginning. This was the inaugural year of the UC cohort that I was part of. The UC cohort was built of 6 UC campuses, 2 students per campus. So we had reps from UC Riverside, UC Davis, UC Irvine, UC Berkeley, UC Merced, and UCLA. And it was a group of undergrads and 2 graduate students who joined forces to advocate and create a network for students across the UC campuses to organize for undocumented student resources. So from the UC cohort, we built an organization called Undocumented Student-Led Network, which will be launching this fall, which Abraham will talk a little bit more next. So usually when students join during summer, they get paired with an organization. So instead of getting paired with an organization this time around, the organization was basically my co-leader, me and Abraham. So it was the first cohort run by students for students, which was really amazing. We were able to cater and create the work plan to address like urgent issues that we thought were most needed. So having autonomy over our summer as undocumented students and be compensated for that work does not exist in many places. Many undocumented students are usually overworked and taken advantage of for our free labor due to our status. And Dream Summer offers that unique experience for the empowerment of undocumented students, which then leads for many of them to be equipped and find the passion to continue advocating and organizing in their communities. So this should be a model that should be replicated across the United States. And it is a shame that it doesn't already exist in many places. So last summer, the summer before this past summer, I was turned down from a prestigious internship due to my status and because the so-called immigrant rights friendly collective had not figured out a way to compensate undocumented interns without DACA. So how are you going to tell me your job is to advocate for immigrant rights and access when your own mission is fake news when turning down an undocumented student because your overflowing funding has a restriction? So let me tell you all, undocumented students know how to organize and get the job done. Our fellows worked on a 40-page report this summer comparing the disparities of resources and access that exist across all of the UC campuses. Even as California, the more progressive immigrant state, we still fall short in so many things. And we put that in the light in this report. This usually takes faculty years to do the work. We did it in a summer. So we also hosted a town hall where we invited Senator Alex Padilla, US Representative Jimmy Gomez, and Councilmember Gil Cedillo to address the urgency of immigrant reform now. So the town hall was to inform the community and urge Congress that immigration reform has to happen now and that immigration has to be at the forefront. So lastly, we gave back to our communities through their social media campaigns on the things we were learning this summer. So overall, I had a blast this summer. And if you take anything away from what I said is that undocumented students have the power and we know how to organize. Organizers are the least funded by foundations, but let me tell y'all, the money will be put into good use in developing the next movers and shakers of tomorrow. And Dream Summer figured that out early and has been doing it for 10 years already. And that's why we are here now to celebrate that success. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Kareli. And good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here. The accomplishments of the UC cohort this past summer is a testament to what is possible when undocumented students are given the agency, the resources, and the support to continue their organizing work. Oftentimes, as Kareli said, undocumented student leaders must undergo their entire organizing careers with no compensation and or support from anyone. Yet they are still able to produce incredible victories in their respective communities. But now imagine possibilities once these students are uplifted and empowered with the right resources and the right tools. Kareli just listed some of the things that we were able to accomplish in 10 weeks. And our approach has really been, we organize in a bottom-up approach and starting at our own respective campuses and communities and building our way up. And as of now, we currently have 4 active UC campuses in USN, but our goal has always been to expand to not only all the UC campuses, but as well as CSUs, community colleges, and private universities. I think my organizing experience is rather universal. You enter these advocacy spaces during your time in higher education, yet it is almost always the case that these spaces are under-resourced and students are compelled to do the work completely unpaid. This shouldn't be the case because this work is impactful, meaningful, and necessary. I thank you all for your support so far, and I hope you can continue to support us as we launch this critical project to advance the immigrant youth movement.
Thanks so much, Kareli and Abraham. Always great to hear your reflection and always feel gratitude towards your leadership, and fortunate to be able to work with you all and continue to work with you all this year and planning for Dream Summer 2022. So now we'd like to open up the floor for any questions for our attendees. If you have any questions, feel free to put it on the chat or unmute yourself.
just highlight, Anthony, Ed Kissam had a question about the report. I think Kent answered it in the chat, but.
Yeah, thanks so much, Veronica. So yeah, the report is still being finalized and we'll be releasing it soon. So we'll make sure to send folks a link to that report once it is released. So maybe I had a question actually for our staff, our new staff and our alumni. What do you hope to see for Dream Summer or the immigrant youth movement in the next 5 years? So maybe we can start with Kareli and Abraham.
Well, I really hope we're not in the same situation that we are right now. I really hope that after this year, we have some kind of pathway to citizenship for folks. And I hope that we don't have to build up again from the ground up, because, you know, it's been how many years? It's been many years since we had since this movement really started, and I feel like we continue to be in the same spot. And I really hope that after this year we will have some, you know, most of us will have some kind of pathway to citizenship, some kind of legal status. But if it doesn't, then I think we'll have to really start to think of new innovative ways to continue organizing and continue and adapting to whatever political climate we are in.
Yeah, I think like I honestly really want to see immigrants like recognized for their humanity and just existing rather than their labor and what they have to bring to the table many times. And I think going to the Immigrant Integration National Conference, we went to Vegas not too long ago. I think even in that conference, what came out was that like, you know, immigration is just not a Latinx issue. It's a multiracial issue that a lot of people go through, and Black immigrants should be given a voice in this movement and should be at the forefront. And we should recognize that every day, all day. And I think like what's happening right now at the border, you know, is not okay. And we have to call attention to that, to the administration and to everyone making laws and policies right now. So I really hope that in 5 years we can figure this out. And it's just a cycle that just repeats every year. Oh, there's a crisis at the border. That's what they say. But no, there's a lot of things that really contribute to that. And I hope that we can recognize people for their humanity, not their labor.
Great. Just either Jessica, Salinas, or Gabby want to take that on, or I can move on to the next question in the chat box. Great. So Ed had a question. Have Dream Summer students been involved with any of the efforts to combat COVID-19 in immigrant communities? So yes, our fellows this past 2 years were really instrumental in providing COVID-19 related relief and information to immigrant communities in California and throughout the country. I know some of our fellows had to either help with providing, helping folks apply for emergency assistance program, providing information on the vaccine, where to get it, helping folks make appointments. So definitely the work of our fellows in this past 2 years have really helped ensure that immigrant communities had access to the COVID vaccine, whether it's physically helping them register for it, either lifting up the voices and concerns of immigrant communities around the vaccine, the hesitation, or the misinformation that's spreading around in our communities, to be able to make sure that stakeholders understood what's happening on the ground. The next question we had is from Shauna, I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name. What would you, as a former participant, like to see strengthened or expanded for Dream Summer? So I'll have maybe Gabby and Jessica and Salinas take this question.
I think I can share a little bit about our vision. I think Gabby and I have been working on strategizing for 2022. And one of the things that we definitely want to focus on is a lot more, like Kareli had said previously, a lot more outreach to Black immigrant youth and also LGBTQ immigrant youth. And I think that's one of our goals for this year. I think it's really important that we support Black folks and we support LGBTQ folks in this movement because they are most vulnerable and they should be at the forefront, and we should be hearing from them and we should be listening to them. And I think Dream Summer can truly continue to foster that and continue to supporting folks and paying them for their labor and paying them for the labor that they do. And it's a vision that we're working on and will hopefully see it come true this 2022 and continue supporting Black immigrant youth and Black community folks members who are truly creating change and helping us reach this goal of liberation.
Thank you, Jessica. I say similarly to Jessica's point and Kareli's, really focusing on greater outreach to Black and LGBTQ youth, as well as folks that do not have DACA, and really shifting any harmful narratives that oftentimes erases a huge portion of immigrant communities. DACA is only, I want to say already 700,000 folks, and we have about 11 million people that we're still missing support. And so I really do believe that additionally supporting our undocumented youth, non-DACA, it's going to be crucial in Dream Summer.
Great. And just also wanted to just highlight some of the great work that we're doing currently right now at the DRC and at the Labor Center. So we have this amazing project with our colleagues, Lola Smallwood-Cuevas, who leads our Center for Advancement of Racial Equity at Work. And they mostly focus on Black workers and building the Black worker field here in Southern California. So we're working with one specifically and figuring out how both of our programs can align together around curriculum, around how do we minimize the gap between Black immigrants and native-born African Americans here in terms of their views on immigration and what does African American agenda on immigration looks like. And we're really working on building the bridges between Black worker centers and the immigrant rights groups. So this year we had the opportunity to really place amazing fellows and Black-led organizations such as Black Alliance on Just Immigration. They had 2 fellows. We had 1 fellow working with Haitian Bridge Alliance, and we had other folks, Black immigrant youth, that worked with FCIU and the President's Alliance on Higher Education. And I think, like my colleague said, right, it's important for us to lift up the most marginalized voices within our communities and our movements, because often they're neglected. And we have the responsibility to make sure that those voices are at the forefront. And I think just a little bit of answering your question to Shauna, I think for me is really in this critical moment in time where racial justice is expanding in terms of people's understanding of it and the unraveling of anti-Blackness in the immigrant rights movement, right? It's always been there, but was always shy to talk about it. I think for us at the DRC, we're not shy to talk about it, and we're very intentional, especially last year with the murder of George Floyd and the re-emerging uprising of Black folks and allies. We were intentional in providing that space to our fellows and having a baseline conversation and understanding of what does anti-Blackness look like in the immigrant rights community or in our personal ways that we perpetuate that, right? Because it's this very ingrained cultural process in the United States that often we're aware that we're practicing anti-Blackness. So that's something we're really, really intentional about building into the program more and more, because as organizers, those are skill sets that we need to be aware of. Any other questions? Okay. One question is, what should organized labor be doing to support undocumented people more effectively?
I'd be happy to respond. A hallmark of Dream Summer since its very inception has been the number of placements with labor unions. And by far, this year, the largest single group of placements were with labor unions. we see, especially in Los Angeles and in California, that labor has been at the forefront of organizing immigrant workers. And we also see that Dream Summer Fellows have played a powerful role in supporting organizing campaigns that are being led by immigrant workers on the front lines. Many Dream Summer alumni are now working for unions that have large concentrations of immigrant workers. So we see that this is something that really needs to be supported in the years to come as we expand the base of placements in labor unions.
Thanks so much for that response, Kent. And there was a question about if the meeting is being taped. Yes, it is being taped, and we will send you the recording after probably sometime in the next couple of days. Any other questions? Great. Well, now I'll hand it back to Kent for some closing remarks.
Thanks so much. I just really wanted to share that we are so excited to have Jessica and Gabby and Salinas on board. We did a national search for the 2 coordinators of our Dream Summer program and for our very first alumni coordinator. And all 3 are Dream Summer alumni themselves. So they bring this wealth of knowledge, this network of people that they've worked with through Dream Summer, and a deep commitment to this program. So we're really excited about the work that Kareli and Abraham are developing with the new launch of the Undocumented Student Network and opportunities to really expand undocumented student organizing campus by campus throughout California, but also in different parts of the country. So we really appreciate each and every one of you for joining us today. We will be releasing the report that Kareli and Abraham referenced that was put out by the University of California Dream Summer cohort this past summer with recommendations on ways to strengthen the participation of undocumented students on campus. And we really hope that all of you might consider expanding your investment in Dream Summer, both through opening up new host opportunities and new placements for various labor and community organizations across the country, but also to support financially to grow the work of Dream Summer and the Dream Resource Center. So thanks so much, Anthony, for all of the work that you do, as well as all of the panelists who were able to speak today. And we will be making copies of this recording available if anyone would like to share to celebrate indeed this milestone 10th anniversary of Dream Summer. Thanks very much.